What's up, guys? This your boy Red Haven. This is my reaction to Hardly Initiated. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy the show.
It is your host, Tyshawn Jackson, in here with another episode. My co-host, Ryan Jackson.
Listen, I feel like the episodes been going crazy lately.
Yes.
So yeah, we just gotta continue the trend.
We have to listen.
Yeah.
We're not slowing down. We're not stopping for the family. And tonight, y'all have been requesting this conversation we are having because
Leaving just one premature.
today we teach not just the ladies, but the brothers.
I hate this one. Just do it. This new crew of yours. They seem a bit skittish. Probably should tell them what happened in the last
But the brothers. All right? Brothers, come on in. This show here is for you, because we got these husbands on the platform, and we about to teach the single man the game, and we in here doing it with my first brother right here. Shout out to Ezekiel Azangu. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to be here, man. I'm in a place to be. It feels like.
Listen, the show is taking off, man. It already. We're not already lifted in the air. And the people that's actually tuning in will surprise you. I mean, it's big people in space. Is high profile people. I mean, everything. We got politicians, attorneys, doctors, commanders, chiefs, everything.
So the brothers, we gotta bring up the top notch. Also, while we here rocking with my man Will Jackson up in here with us today.
Jackson boy.
Rocking today. So you see what's happening, and today we're gonna found us some married brothers for this conversation. And we're gonna have a good one here today. Before we get into it, Ryan, talk to the people, let them know what's going down.
Listen, I think we give a shout out to the brothers, man. The brothers come up here ready. Look at Chris haircuts. Fellas, they showing. I mean, I show you all the time.
They all got the same ball.
That's hilarious.
So we got some really. big things going on with the Initiate family, guys. I see we had 7 initiates pop off the show before we even get started in the weight room. So I just want to salute y'all for that.
Before we even get started in the weight room. So I just want to salute y'all for that.
Until a little bit later.
Tyshawn and I will
into
the details a little bit later. Tyshawn and I will continue to drip a lot of the things that we're working on because we are planning huge things, huge guests, huge conversations,
everything,
huge events, everything for 2024. So please be patient with us. So the only thing that I'm gonna do, I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. I just simply want you guys to forward us over your
phone number and email.
Because when we get things popping off, we want to make sure you're in the loop, especially my initiates. Also, 30 minutes in,
initiates only,
baby. We got
yes, initiates only, meaning the chat will be for initiates only. If you're watching the replay, you need to make sure you're here at Monday and Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. because this is really where it goes down. The families ain't having conversation, but you're gonna have a good time either way. So let's actually get to it, fellas. Well, first of all, look, before we actually go into a conversation, I want the people to get a good idea of the profile of the brothers I got. So I got some interesting brothers, man. I be handpicking these brothers for y'all. You know what I'm saying? I don't just y'all. You gotta understand, it's like a heavy vetting process now. Like, it's crazy because like.
Yeah, he was interrogating us, man. I'm like, come on, man.
I gotta have a good conversation. I gotta feel you. I gotta know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I might have to show me around your house. Let me see what I can tell you.
Run me that social real quick.
Right, run me that social real quick. But no, for real, man. Y'all brothers, I'm very impressed with you brothers as a whole. And first of all, you've been married now for 15 years.
15 years, yeah. 5 kids, man.
5 kids.
Incredible.
Man, I wish we should have had a family pic for
y'all don't got no photos.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, the family's beautiful, man. It's a beautiful family. I love the aesthetics of that. I've been following more brothers like you nowadays.
Okay.
You know, it's good to have that.
So you're gonna have 5 kids along with me. I need some people to share in this.
I think I'm good with like 3.
You can tell by that, honestly. He's like, honestly.
You're right. The only way I'm gonna really go get 5 is if I get like 4 girls.
4 girls. Oh, really?
If I get 4 girls, I'm gonna shoot 4.
Yeah.
So
I'm trying to keep that last name going. I'm trying to keep the last name going.
Got you.
If I get 5 girls, I'm out the game.
That's real. That's real.
Hey, but Will, yourself, you have been married now, fresh in the game, married for 1 year now.
Yeah,
when was the
a
anniversary?
little over a year. So July 26th.
Okay.
Yeah. So we we are the beacon of hope. So this is our second time around in marriage, and we've taken a lot of the lessons that we've learned from previous situations and being able to apply them and actually create that space where now we're just flowing in this what we call the good life space. Okay. We say it all the time, man. We got a good life.
So you went, and that's interesting, where both of you now are on your second marriage.
Yeah.
Did that concern you a bit, like meeting a woman who had a divorce already? Were you a little bit concerned, like it might be a little?
Yo, honestly, that one right there is just kind of like, let's finish watching the show.
Might be a little red flags over here that it was a divorce. Did that not concern you at all?
It didn't concern me because I'm one of those who's always looking at myself. So I can't judge you for coming out of a marriage if I've come out of a marriage. And I know that, I'm always a forward thinker. So your past doesn't define you as far as where you are and what you've been through. It's if there's the residue there. Is there a residue that's sort of lingering based on where you were? Are you still wounded? Are you still hurt? Are you healed? Are you whole? Because there's a difference. So, I feel like that we met each other in that perfect space where we really weren't looking for it. I came out of it and said I was done. She said that she was never going to get married again. And, God had other plans. So when we met each other, it was like, okay, the things that I thought that were dead and I wasn't even looking for, it was awakened again. So,
okay. And what was that gap like in between the first marriage and the second? How long were you?
So, 2014. So this is, we're like 8-9 years, in between.
8-9 years.
Yeah.
So you had the little detox.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Because it was one of those things that you come out of a situation and until you actually effectively heal, you sort of just discard the idea of the potential of it returning back better than before. It's like human tendency is you come out of it and it's like, okay, this is my point of reference.
Right.
So if this didn't work, then maybe It's not in cards. So it's you get into that place where you start settling or adopting the idea or the reality that this is just as, this is my lot in life, until you meet something and you realize, okay, no, what I really wanted was available all along. I just had to be in the right place, had to be in the right space, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually. And, then it presented itself.
No, that makes perfect sense. And how long was the first marriage?
We were married almost 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Versus 4 years.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, good. And I want the people to get context, because you can see this brother has worked hard, got out of one marriage, and he said he had to go back to it again. So obviously there's some good stuff in this marriage pie.
Man, listen,
that
this
has
is the place to be.
Back.
This is the place to be.
Right.
It's one of those things that you realize that it's better on this side. It really is. When you have the person that you are created to do life with, and you got the person who is qualified and capable to help push you and to support you, and you have a different level of creativity in marriage. You got a different level of freedom in your mind and your heart, because there's certain aspects that provide that emotional safety for you to even do what you're supposed to do at the highest level. So it's the best place to be, honestly.
And I can obviously, you come back to you're living the fact that might be true. Came back again, second marriage, and Ezekiel can't leave it. Can't let it go. He's in it for 15 years.
Yeah.
So, and this is a very important conversation, because right now, in the echo chambers of social media, the conversation being propelled heavily from the red pill community, and just many brothers who have had that painful experience with women, that there are no benefits of marriage. Like, I turn on my timeline and I see that a ton, even though I'm trying to follow less and less of the messages. The reality is that men are questioning whether or not the value is there. In fact, I actually heard one today, and I pulled it aside because I wanted to play it in the show, because the video we're about to play right now is a good example of very common back and forths that you hear men having. So Lionel, go ahead and play that one for us, because I want the audience to even get context to some things that's being said right now.
We're going to get married. I don't want to get married.
From the producers of Vanderpump Rules, welcome to the Valley.
Our priorities have changed. I'm 40 now.
I don't know how to manage raising a child.
I know you are. Welcome to the jungle, baby. Bravo's The Valley. Stream all episodes Wednesdays on Peacock.
Not right now, no.
I want to get married.
Why?
There's no benefit. He only has everything to lose. A man can be completely faithful to his wife, provide, protect, take care of the kids. Obviously when he's not working, whatever. And the wife can step out and cheat. And what's the result of that? Man has to pay alimony, has to pay child support, loses his house, loses the cars, loses everything. Why? What's the point? And then, it's a coin flip. Flip a coin, and your marriage is going to work. Those are the odds. Those are the chances. If you want to get married, cool. Throw a wedding, put the rings on each other, say your vows, you're married. You don't have to submit nothing with the courts.
Am I alone?
The only reason why somebody is not okay being alone is because they're not okay with themselves. That's it. Like, if you're not okay being alone, you have issues with yourself that you need.
Now, we got to get into it. All right.
Yes, sir.
You got to get into it. So, I mean, that alone will probably give you a good idea of what, some brothers are saying. And again, people are inundated seeing, these celebrity divorces. They hearing their mom, maybe their mom got divorced. They're inside their household, their best friends. Obviously, that's happening in abundance. We seeing, brothers take a blow. The ladies take a blow and just did these different ways, and it's not looking sexy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But you brothers coming back and staying in it.
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes, sir.
So talk to my brothers. Let's start right here, because I want to talk about the benefits of marriage to a man, right? Specifically to a man. And Ezekiel, help me out. Let's pop it off right here.
Yeah.
What would you say for you personally? How has marriage as a man benefited you?
Oh man, it's too many. I would just say this as a man, and you guys will know as single men, there is this sense of freedom that we have to feel like, hey, I can be an individual, I can pursue, I can grind hard, and I have nobody to answer to. And we think that is the fullness of who we are until you meet someone that is able to be a mirror for you, to challenge you in areas where you didn't think you needed to grow, to challenge you in areas where only someone else could actually compliment and build you up. And I realized that, man, there are areas as far as my sensitivity and my ability to process, in areas where I thought I was wise, I thought I knew better. My wife came along and she showed me my blind spots. I realized how selfish I could be, how inconsiderate I could be, how immature I could be in certain areas. And even areas where I needed to heal that I did not know that I needed to heal. It wasn't until I ran up against the wall of her honesty and her ability to see through and in me that I was even able to realize that I need to grow. So I do believe that there are single men out here content in their brokenness. No one has been able to confront those areas of brokenness. Nobody has been able to confront those areas of void. And they've somehow been able to manage or mismanage and walk around with a self-defense mechanism that they call personality. They're like, I'm like this because this. I'm like this because no, you built this up because you went through this. You built this up because you don't want to go through this. You saw your dad do this. You want to avoid this. And you become this caricature. And you say, that's me. Nah, that's pieces of your brokenness that you've glued together and you call it yourself. And you realize why certain people are highlighting areas of your life that you think are okay. Like you can't stay in relationships. When things happen, you escape, leave things, you move around. You can't deal with authority here and there. You can't take this. You can't talk to your brother. You don't talk to your dad. And you don't know what these things are. And sometimes you have a friend. I call a wife a friend. If you can't find a friend in her that's able to show you, hey, you're really impatient. You're afraid in this area. Have you ever had someone that just look you in the eye and say, I can tell you're afraid here. Like, I could tell that you need to grow here, or that's an area of immaturity. And when you have that 24-hour accountability, someone you can't escape, you wake up with them, they see you at your worst, see you at your best, so they could love you at your worst and love you through your best. I think that there's an aspect of growth that you will miss unless you have that person that walks through life, through the most intimate and darkest parts of life with you.
Do you think that, because I can imagine it's a lot in that a man, especially that you have described, glued himself up in this way to become this person, his ego, his pride probably won't allow him to receive certain levels of accountability from a woman.
Oh yeah.
Right? Were you already kind of primed for that when you first got into marriage? Or did you have to get that ego beat down and, just had to lower your pride in there to get it right? Or did you already have that straight before you stepped into it?
So the good thing is, I desired the will of God and I saw the purpose of marriage before I got into it. I didn't say I was ready for marriage. I didn't say that I was mature enough in every area, but I wanted to chase and strive for the purpose, the greater purpose. I wanted to be a leader in my household. I wanted to raise kids in the fear of the Lord. I wanted to lead my wife in a particular way, and I valued that. So if you're outside of that capacity and you don't value the institute, you don't value what marriage means for the greater meaning of marriage, then you're always going to be I'm not about to allow my money to go this way. I'm not going to allow my heart to be put in this vulnerable place because she could cheat on me. That's a fear-based mentality. But I was chasing, I want to be a beacon in my community. I want my children to see a father who loved their wife. If you don't value that, then you're already going into it wrong. So me, I value that from 19 years old. And I said, God, I want a wife that's like this, that honors you, and I want to lead like this. And so it didn't have to get beat in me. I welcome the blows. Like when I saw myself make mistakes, I'm like, wow, I gotta be better. When I saw myself needing to grow in areas, yes, it broke me, it challenged me, but I welcome those blows because I realized, man, this is what I asked for. This is what I wanted to see, and this is what I want to be. So Yeah, if you're going in with, self-defense, like I'm trying to protect my money, I'm trying to protect my brokenness, then you're divorced before you get divorced. Damn.
Yeah. So I do understand that mindset, right? So more so fear-based versus faith-based.
Yeah.
Right. Versus potentially negative outcome versus more than likely positive outcome.
Yeah.
But what about the guy who's looking at this thing just like he would evaluate different businesses, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's just checking out the pros and the cons. Statistics.
Yeah.
And he's just like, based on statistics, based on what's actually happening in the marketplace, the relationship marketplace, this is a failing business model.
Yeah.
I'm not scared because I believe it's possible.
Yeah.
It maybe, but statistically based, this is not a good business model. What do you say to that person?
If you're leading with the statistic business model of a marriage, then you're calling it a business. And when you're taking your lenses and approaching it like that, we talked about broken lenses today, then you're already making marriage something that is destined to fail. Like if you're not coming into this with a self-sacrificial heart that says, I'm coming into this to break so that I can lead and be everything that God wants me to be in this marriage. You're over there trying to evaluate so you could win. You're getting every conversation trying to win, but you're not going there. How can I be better? How can I break? How can I lose? I want to lose so this can win. I gotta die to myself so this can live. So a person with a business mind is just like, where's the profit? Where's the benefit? How can I save myself? How can I protect myself? How can I protect my assets? Bro, you lost. You killed the marriage because you want to live. The Bible talks about those that want to save their lives will lose it, and those that want to lose their lives will gain it. And in the same way, those that are trying to protect themselves in a marriage, I'm gonna protect my money, I'm gonna protect my heart. You've already lost before you got in it, because marriage is a game where you gotta lose to win.
And it's almost to the degree where you have to identify, to piggyback on that, what the benefit actually you are identifying. We're talking about benefits of marriage. So you got to look at, what do you classify as a benefit? Am I looking for someone who benefits my specific lifestyle? Am I looking for a trophy, or am I looking for a wife? Because there are two different benefits to each. So my greatest benefit is having a family to cover and to lead and to make sure that I am protecting and providing for. So that's the greatest benefit for me. Now, that doesn't always set you up to have the ideal situation where everything is going your way. So it's almost like you got to identify first what your benefits are. Like if you are looking for someone, because nobody's ever done anything great by judging statistics, right? Like if we talk about statistics, Albert Einstein would have never gotten to the light bulb, because after statistical ideation, after try 100, I just need to stop, right? But 900 more tries, we got light. So it's almost as if, okay, if I'm going to judge it based on what the statistics are culturally, one, so what are my benefits? Where's my value based? Because for us, it's kingdom. So I know that I was created for relationship. So if I know that that's a major part of who I am, then in order for me to be a whole man, I need that missing piece, right? So I think you first got to identify what your benefits are, because I think a lot of men are not looking for wives. They're looking for someone who fits the mold to make them feel better about themselves. So if that's your benefit, you're already setting it up to lose, because culture says that the benefit is you're supposed to get with somebody who makes you feel good about yourself, who's going to stroke your ego, who's going to support every business venture, who's not going to tell you no. That this whole community where it's, you need somebody who is pretty much come in and subservient, and we value submission over everything, not knowing that submission goes both ways. So how do I get to a place where I first identify that my benefit is not in getting my way, but having health?
To be honest with you, I kind of agree with what they've been saying so far. So yeah, I mean, especially the guy with the black guy, the dark skinned dude. I did definitely agree with what he was saying at first. First, I was kind of got a little bit of confused, you know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and keep going, y'all.
Healthy relationship and us being able to build something of value that we can pass down generational love and peace and freedom to our children. So if I'm not looking through the correct lens of what the benefit is, then of course I'm gonna look at it and say, okay, well, if I'm looking for a woman that's just going to come in and cook and clean and do what I say, I don't want a wife. Because that's not the role of a wife. A role of a wife is supposed to help me meet the ideas that God has in store for my life. And to help me meet that means she needs to challenge me on certain thought processes or perspectives. And so it's just, I think we first got to outline what do you identify as a benefit? Okay. Because what you identify will determine what you're seeking after.
That's good.
So, okay. Yeah, that is good. That is good. Well, and this is the thing. I think a lot of people are confused about what the benefit of a wife is.
Yeah.
And because it just doesn't look sexy. Especially when the experienced brothers talk about it. It's like all this pain and hardship, and it's like, damn, I'm here for the family photos and the good stuff, the Thanksgivings and the Christmases.
But isn't that the beauty? Isn't that like when you see a built, chiseled body, a man that has gone through that work, a man that has endured that level of resistance is able to achieve the beauty. Any man that has made millions can't tell you that it was easy. It was the process that he can stand on. So why is it that men are looking for the easy way out when it comes to women? To be honest, I don't think a man would truly be happy with a woman that he can literally treat like an object, like a dog. Like men, they say, like, I want a woman that's an asset. Basically, they want a woman that doesn't interrupt their single life, their single mentality. They want a woman that's just an add-on, not a woman that disturbs their flow. And I think it's weak-minded, I think, because it's the easy way out. Like, why? How could you have built a six-pack and still have the mindset that I want this to be easy? And you go into this situation with this feminized mindset that says, I want to receive. Nah, man, we come to serve. We come to give. Why, when you look at marriage, you're not like, I want to be a husband. I want to lead my children. It's, I want to receive a woman. I want to receive. Like, chill out, dog. Like, you're going to build. Like, when it comes to anybody that's built a business from the ground up, you give, you know that business. Like, what y'all doing?
I know exactly what
you put your hands, you know the chords. I see y'all working the chords. Even though you guys are the stars of the show in a sense, you guys know the chords. You guys going through, you guys working and troubleshooting. And you have the resistance and endurance and the patience because you thought this business was worth you putting your hands on and enduring the hardships, the uncertainty, the difficulty. And so, yes, that feels unsexy, but the beauty is on the other side of the unsexy part, of the patience, of the endurance, of the trials and the journey. And I think we have to begin to start, like my brother said, without broken lenses, take the broken lenses off and value the process and the beauty of the muck, because the beauty is on the other side of what we think is sticky and what we think is unsexy, I think.
Yeah. And it's I think so much especially in social media in this digital age, we magnify the negativity or the negative aspects of things, because if all we're hearing is stuff about that's unsexy, it's a whole lot of happily married people.
Absolutely.
But that's not sexy for what's marketable now. What's marketable is, I was in a marriage and it sucked and this is painful and, stay where you are. And because everything is self-centered, because now this puts the focus back on me. Okay. Yeah, no, don't get into marriage because you won't be able to have your identity and you won't be able to do the things that you want to do and you won't be able to create the things that you want to create. Well, if the only thing that you want to create is for you, you're selfish to begin with. I want to create something I can leave. Legacy is something that I leave behind, but I need to be able to build with someone to establish a family, to leave it to somebody. So,
and if you're still selfish, don't get married. If you don't want to let go of these selfish men or women, okay, don't get married. Marriage is not for selfish people.
Yeah.
It's for people that are willing to drop themselves for the sake of the unit. Yeah.
I want to drop a poll on that because one, I want to get an idea, because the thing is, The show is for the fellas. Teaching the husbands is teaching the single men some game. So I want to drop a poll specifically for the men only. It's gonna give me a good idea because we got 800 people in the chat. It's gonna give me a good idea how many men are actually in here.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask the men only, okay? Do you consider marriage to be an attractive relationship, arrangement, status?
Yeah.
Well, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, arrangement is fine.
Arrangement. Cool.
Yeah, arrangement.
And I'm just gonna put simply and tell me what you think about this, Ty. Yes or no?
Put on the fence.
On the fence?
Put on the fence in there.
Okay.
I want to see the brothers that might get converted this show, because some brothers might get converted this show, and some brothers might say, I'm selfish. I ain't signing up for that.
Can we deal with the elephant in the room though?
Yeah.
I think what seems the most unsexy on the surface level.
Ladies, don't do this poll, ladies. But go ahead.
Right. Yeah, we want real stats.
It's the idea that you got to commit to especially men that are experienced, men that have options, having to commit to the same woman. We are predisposed in our carnality, and I would just say at the lowest parts of us that we want variety, right? We want multiple women. We want to be able to experience the world. We want 31 Flavors. That's an ice cream company that we used to have in LA. So we want to experience all of those things because we think that there is joy. We think there's satisfaction in trying everything. And it's funny, men, once they turn 50 and 60, they're like, you know what? I done tried it all. I'm ready to settle on down, because we realized that we could not find what we were looking for in that variety. And I realized more men have the patience to go night after night, year after year, body after body, dealing and experiencing all the spirits and all the skeletons and all the bodies of these women than having to deal day by day building the same woman. There's a difference between having sex with a body and having sex and intimacy with a whole person.
Yeah.
And having a union. There's nothing like making love with the person that you built with, disagreed with, loved on, shared experiences with. Y'all holding hands. There's certain things, and we don't have to get to that. There's certain things you wouldn't do with a random person.
Right.
But there's another level of
right. Some people
some people be wild. But there's a different level of openness and intimacy that you can have, that you can only experience with someone that you're with day in and day out. And I think more men are afraid of dealing and building in that way than they are with dealing with straight. Imagine more men are open to being naked and having one-time experiences with strangers 1,000 times than having more beautiful experiences with one person 1,000 times. And I will say this whole idea of, sex and what all that stuff, sex is better when you get like the smartest people, the people that are best are experts because they've done the same. Like Kobe Bryant. Imagine he was great because he shot the same ball on the same court 500,000 times. That made him an expert. So take that and apply it to sex. Two people that have committed to learning each other and becoming experts at each other's bodies, they can become experts in mastery at pleasure for each other. So what you would have experienced and you thought that was an amazing experience with this random, you could have that times 100 with a person that has practiced you like Kobe.
And that's hopefully if they having that level of intention and not just going through the motion.
Oh, right. yeah. That's intention on you and on that person.
Yes.
Be careful who you choose, I would say.
Yes.
And then you be an intentional person as well. Don't just expect it and not contribute in that way.
One thing I do like that you said, and I think it's very important, because if we're talking to single brothers, I think a big part of, the mindset of being single, and especially in our culture, is that readiness point. I think everybody is, playing with that. Even the ladies, even everybody's getting married later. That's just what's happening now as a culture, right? But I like what you said. You said, I didn't wait till I was ready. I knew and understood the purpose of marriage. So what is the purpose of marriage?
Oh, you want to get deep?
Yeah. Talk to my brothers. Break that down.
I'm not going to go all the way far, but it's a spiritual thing. We believe God instituted marriage. Going back to Genesis, marriage is the reflection of the highest peak of a relationship that God desired to have with man, and we believe that in the end we will be reunited in a form of marriage with our Lord and Savior. And so I will say this: when two people come together, it's called a mystery, a beautiful mystery. Two different individuals come together and become one, where they actually relinquish themselves for the unit of oneness. That oneness is a glory that the world begins to look at and says, wow, I can appreciate the fullness of God because I'm able to experience and see the reflection of the beauty that God desires to have with us in that example of a man and a woman coming together. And also family being the foundation of community, family being the foundation of the church, literally is the backbone of society. Why do you think that we have the sexy reds and everything falling apart in our community? Because there's a breakdown of the family. There's a breakdown of marriage. There's a breakdown of the role of a father and the role of a mother. And so when we value the importance of that picture for society, then we're committed to actually building up society. I believe that my marriage does something for the men that look at me. I believe that my marriage does something for my son. It does something for my daughters and everyone around them. And if everyone had a commitment to our community in the same way, I think we would have more thriving communities and less of what we don't want to see out here.
Yeah. You know, that's the thing too. That's why the video that we talked about that we just started to show it's so dangerous. And anybody that is an advocate of divorce or singleness is so dangerous because marriage is the foundation. Family is the foundation of the community. So if somebody is promoting anything at scale, imagine at scale, people having a mindset that you should not get married, that you should not build family. What chaos is that nation? Right, so that in itself, that is demonic, right? It's no peace in that. It's chaos. So like that's why we really do have to make a very intentional effort not to only teach the purpose, but also somebody culturally has to make this look sexy, like culturally. Because culturally we have made singleness, we have made selfishness, we have made individualism all sexy. We have made that cool.
Very much so.
And that's very dangerous to do as a culture.
Yeah. So let me give you a huge benefit for marriage. If we're trying to outline benefits, one of the greatest things that I've found in marriage to be a benefit is safety.
Wow.
Because even though what we're talking about where men can give themselves to multiple women, you only give a fraction of yourself because you know you're not safe. So in marriage, when you've come together and you have somebody who's committed to you, imagine being in a place where you don't have to look over your shoulder, where I don't have to wonder if you're talking to somebody else, where I don't wonder if you're doing something behind my back. When you are emotionally safe as a man, and I'm talking as a man who spent the majority of his life not feeling emotionally safe in all relationships, whether it be friendships, whether it be in business, whether it be in relationships. I became a master, which I think a lot of men are. I became a master at giving people what they wanted without giving them me.
Wow.
So I can be functional in the area of giving you exactly what you need, but I wasn't safe enough to give you me, the real me, the raw me, the vulnerable me. And when you are in a marriage where you find that person where you can be safe with, where you can mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually be able to release in a safe place, because the truth of the matter is, in culture today, we have created a space where, because men, we're not wired emotionally, and a lot of men, which are wounded now, which it sounds like the gentleman in the video, is we do this thing where we expose ourselves vulnerably once, right? And so one time we expose ourselves and we experience a level of brokenness. What the tendency is from a man then to do is to say, I'll never do that again.
Sir,
I'll never do it again because it hurt once, so I'll never do that again. And what does that do? I've insulated myself within the wounds of my trauma, and now I've created an institution in my mind that I am not safe with women. So what I'll do is I'll protect my safety by making sure that I don't allow people access to the vulnerable spaces that I possess. But when you get in a marriage with someone who is invested in, I'll tell you, one of the conversations that really was pivotal for me and my wife, I am an alpha male, right? I'll carry all the bags. I got it all, right? I'm the king of I got it. And one time I was carrying all the bags. I had food and she was like, let me help you. And I said, no, I got it. I'm cool, I got it. I'm carrying all the bags, and she tries to offer me assistance again. Yeah. I'm holding. I say, I got it. I'm good. I'm a man. I got it. I'm walking, and I drop the food. She turns to me. She puts her hand on my chest and says, "Let me be your teammate." And for me, that was so transformational because I remember so many times where people became okay with what I could do for them and not being intentional about what can I do for you as well? And when you find that place in a marriage where you are safe, where I can just be the real, raw me, and I don't have to hold these walls up, because what we classify as strength is really us hiding. Come on. I'm hiding behind the walls of my trauma. I'm hiding behind whatever is going to protect me and insulate me so that I don't get hurt. It really is a form of where I just don't want to get hurt. So let me mask my strength over top of my trauma or my wounds. So just I prevent myself from getting hurt again. But when you get into a marriage and you are able to be safe, I'm telling you, bro, that is transformational. Emotional safety for a man is a game changer.
Hold on, wait, because this brother's going in. Yeah. I want to just let everybody know right now that we're 30 minutes in, actually about 36 minutes in. So the members only chat. If you're not an initiate, the chat is only for the initiate. So come on in, join the conversation, join the family, join the initiation happening here with these amazing brothers. And also, we already got well over 1,000 people in. Only 298 likes. Please, guys, smash that gray like button. That's what's going to send this thing around the space of YouTube. And y'all see what's going around here. We need messages like this spreading and running and winging high, right? Online on these algorithms. So hit that like button for me right now. And Ryan, close that poll out because the brothers went ahead and voted in here.
Those are big facts, man. Over 1,000 people in the room. The super chats is coming in, by the way. Men only. Do you consider marriage to be an attractive relationship arrangement? We got over 120 votes, and that's 70% of men say yes.
Woo!
So just kind of give you an idea, 120 is okay. Is okay because usually I would say depends on him in the room. We'll probably get about a third of the people that's in the room.
Yeah.
So we probably got around a third of the people usually vote. Man. Probably around 250 or so, right? Probably in the chat, so that's okay.
So 15% no, and about the other 15 on the fence. Well, actually 17% on the fence.
Yeah.
So we got some brothers that might need to hear something to switch things around. Yeah. And I mean, y'all talking heavy right now because when we talked about benefits, I'm gonna keep it real. You said you want to lead. You specifically, you said you just want to lead the family. You want to lead the household, which is beautiful, but some brothers probably thought that sounds more of a responsibility than a benefit. Yeah. Now, what I'll say is, when you just broke down this emotional safety, this emotional vulnerability, this place where we can kind of let the walls down a little bit. Yeah. Now, I think you start saying, brother, okay, that's one. Yeah. That's one tally mark up. We got one tally mark up right now. And see, I think another key thing we got to actually find, because first of all, that's your current wife that did that?
Yeah.
She said, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Shout out to you. Right? Because that was done so well.
Yeah.
Not just because obviously we highlighting the fact that she did that. Mm-hmm. But fellas got to understand this too, because I think a lot of guys might be in situations where they're with women who don't know how to create that safety.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's different ways to handle that same situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's a way where you could do that, and instead of a woman might, seeing that he's, although that's pride there.
Absolutely.
That's beautiful. It's you wanting to be a man, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But instead, somebody might easily jump in and say, "See that? You always want to blase. Somebody might
let me help you." Yeah.
And see, that's anti creating that space. Mm-hmm. That's anti now want to talk to you. That's anti now want to open up.
Yeah.
So, how is it our job to cultivate this emotionally safe space, or is it our job to feel around to see if it's safe, to see if it is safe for us?
So, and I want you to jump in on this, bro. I believe that you can't actually seek out a place of safety until you yourself have identified 3 aspects of 1, where am I? How did I get here? And where am I headed? I say that because one of the foundational core duties of a man is to secure vision, right? As visionaries, when you're talking about, I just want to lead the family. A man is at his best when he's in a place of leadership, when he's thriving in that space. But in terms of emotional safety, when you are trying to feel around in the place and you don't have a clear understanding of what you are looking for, then you open yourself up to people who are not qualified to fit that space. So if my radius is vast and I'm just looking for whoever may try to throw their hat in the ring, then my probability of me getting hurt is high. But if I stop first and I say, okay, before I start looking and before I start exposing myself, let me figure out where am I? Where am I as a man? What has contributed or attributed to me getting here? What are the things that I'm susceptible to? What are the things that I'm carrying? What are my likes? What are my dislikes? What are my negotiables, my non-negotiables? When I have that, it narrows my focus. So now when I start exposing myself, it's more meticulous. And I think sometimes because we haven't stopped and done that inner work and we're just opening ourselves up to just random people, then the people who would never even qualify for that space, when they do damage, then we apply that damage or that wound to the whole pursuit. So now it's not even about this person hurt me. It was the fact that I opened myself up. So until I outline exactly where I am, how did I get here? What are some things that I'm susceptible to? Because I had to also learn the things that were my hot button issues. I had to learn what are some of my propensities. I had to realize that there are certain things that I'm more prone to do, things that are triggers for me. I had to identify that in that space. And then I also, one of the key things that you have to do as a man, I believe, is to have the vision as to where you are headed. Because if I understand where I'm headed, then I won't just try to staff my life for now. I would try to staff my life for next. So now I'm not just getting with somebody because of how you make me feel now. My focus is, can you come alongside me now? But also, are you qualified to journey into next with me? So then it's a very narrow focus. And so then I'm not just reaching random. I have a specific focus. Like a person, we're going back to the idea of a guy who is consistent about his fitness journey, right? You guys are in shape. You're particular about what you eat. You don't just go to any restaurant. You don't just stop at anything, because you have a focus of what I want my body to look like, how I want my life to be, how I want to feel, how I want to look on camera. You have a focus. Now apply that same focus in a relationship. Okay, I know where I'm headed. I know what I'm building. I know who I am. I know who God created me to be. So now I have a complete focus as to where, so I can't just go anywhere. Right. I can't expose myself to just anybody. Yeah. Because then if I do that, it literally wastes all my progress. What does it look like to spend?
Damn. Honestly, I agree with a lot of the advice that they were saying and things like that. You know what I'm saying? I definitely agree that on my terms of marriage is just, I think marriage is about growth. I think marriage is about two people going on this journey, and they go through this experience of growing with each other, learning each other, like the other guy was saying, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely agree with some of the advice that they was giving. But as for right now, this is the end of the show. So, guys, this is your boy Red Haven. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. And peace out.